It's an option. I mean, but they need to kind of be the ones that reveal first, right? Right now, I think the thing that they're more concerned about is they think they've got the better draft because again, look at Spawn. They have
10
nothing that's
seconds
going to push
remaining.
towers, so they're just banning away the stuff that's going to
5
do that the
seconds
most.
remaining.
Terrorblade removed. Naga Siren gone. So even the sniper to a lesser extent, right? Pretty capable at taking these towers. So I think that's where Execration mind is at right now. Like, what are the
Dire
potential
team
hero
ban.
counters that are also capable of taking towers? Monkey King, he's all right as well. You know, you go into something like the uh, the Aghanim Scepter, and then you're a lot more
Radiant
able
team
to fight
pick.
against someone like that Marcy and Spawn. They just want to slow things down too.
I think if you look to try and stick the TA matchup mid and run Marcy carry, I wouldn't mind something like a Legion. I think it's got a lot of value with being able to purge off the coil and the lasso.
10
You've also got
seconds
decent setup
remaining.
for the arrow with the jump in with the jewel. So
So
5
Beastmaster,
seconds
Visage,
remaining.
Lycan are all gone. You don't want to Enigma into a Silencer. What else could you look to do?
really, the big
Could you
question
just
is,
lifesteal here? I feel like you could just lifesteal her. Mid TA, lifestealer against a Batrider or a Puck, you're totally happy with either of those. If you're against a Tusk as a position 4, you're very happy. You could play a little bit more of that active style.
I think there's
I
a
think it could work.
lot of routes Execration can go down. I think a lot of routes. It really just comes down to like, are you happy with putting Bob into the Batrider matchup mid? Because again, they have a lot of flex with the Marcy. So you can look for a
Yeah.
carry like you're mentioning, or you could look for your mid lane, you can look for your off lane, but something has to be revealed. So
I
they've
mean, if
got
there's
a
anything that Bob knows, it's Bat, right? So he'll know if he's
yeah.
capable of doing this, and if he feels like TA into Batrider is doable, then he'll be able to say
Dire
to the rest of
team
his team,
pick.
right, I need you to make this
Legion
happen.
Commander.
Go the LC, nicely done, nice call. Do you think it's going to be an LC3? I know Palace has obviously played the Marcy. I'm just trying to think of a scenario where I guess the Bat has to be mid and yeah, Marcy into this, so it doesn't
10
really matter.
seconds
But if they
remaining.
did run the Bat Rider in the side lane for some reason, then putting the LC
5
there instead.
seconds
I think you can
remaining.
maybe even put the LC mid. I think it's you pick it to follow the Batrider matchup.
Yeah.
It has a lot of value even in the game regardless, but a big reason is potentially to put it in the lane versus the Batrider.
And even if they try and be clever and put it against the Puck, it's not a bad matchup LC against Puck either.
He's going to
Good
get a lot of
good right
farm.
clicks.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what is capable of dealing with all of this that's also able to push towers? Maybe they could PL. I wouldn't hate it. Disruptor doesn't deal with it amazingly. Mirana, Marcy, they don't have great illusion clear. TA, you kind of get swarmed over a little bit. I think it's kind of viable.
Yep. Odds is your only concern, and one spell is nothing really to fear for a PL. I think the only issue is how fast you can come online. But you do have Puck and Batrider to make a lot of plays, even Tusk as well. You got a lot
Yep,
of space makers.
I think it could work. Uh, Let me know when the pick happens. I'm just having a look through the hero list.
Yep.
Oh my god, my list broke.
So I guess
What's going on?
we gotta take into consideration still that they do also need a tower hitter. So if they do go down that PL route, that will definitely they'll still have a weakness there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there's some other heroes that you can consider. I mean, there's no other illusion heroes, but I don't know if there's a damage take, sorry, a tower take that comes to mind.
Chaos Knight?
They did go CK. Good, very good call.
Choose your hero.
Okay.
I mean, it's okay against the LC, right? But
Mm.
it's okay once you're level 6, once you've got a little bit more of that capability to find the pickoffs and make it happen. So they are going to go mid TA. So we're assuming that this is going to be a Bat Rider in response to it. I mean, Jekroy loves his CK as well. That's probably the other thing. Actually, it's a Mamung Dia Bat Rider. So I wonder if they're just switching this up. Obviously, Mamung Dia is super comfortable playing in that mid lane, but I feel like you specifically picked this bat for the TA matchup. So we'll see how they end up doing it.
Yeah, because they both play the Batrider very well, but I believe Among Dai was never a puck player.
No.
So
That and uh, his
He
Void Spirit was all right, but
Yeah,
the other spirits not so much.
started to kind of pick up some spirits towards the end, but nothing really crazy. I don't hate the CK pick. I still think there are a bit of issues with taking towers, but you should be able to kill off the supports very easily. They do have issues with dealing with Phantasm. It's a very strong laner as well, which is an important thing, going up against possibly the Legion Panda, who in her own right is a great laner. So I think that's where the CK can maybe combat that. But I feel like probably for you as well, right? This comes down to just how the lanes are set up.
How the lanes are set up, as well as I think Shanks. Obviously, he plays a great Mirana as well, but you're going to need to, as soon as it's revealed what spell he's got leveled up, then I feel like Spawn Team can potentially go for a kill, right? Because if you go level 1 into the arrow, all you really need is, maybe shove out the lane a little bit more aggressively with the CK and the silencer. Get your level 2 first, and then use that to go for a kill attempt when he doesn't have that leap available. And then with that early net worth advantage, despite the fact that you're a melee hero into an LC, you can still feel fairly confident.
Let's see how we get ourselves shaped up here. Smoke on smoke. Nothing different, nothing crazy. Though
Pinging it out though, where the movement's coming. They should see that well, I don't actually see him put the observer ward up onto the high ground there, so wonder if that's going to get removed. And well, it does still seem like that Mamang Daya is being played in that mid lane, so a little bit of return to the mid lane for him. Just looking to max out the stats right now on Potato in the puck off lane.
yeah, I wonder. Oh,
What up?
the Lul's the one with his crocodile. Dude, look at the Lul's courier. That die is pretty much triangle. This one of the best I've seen.
That is pretty hype, actually. Look at him hop around.
Oh my god.
Unusual eager Drox nozzle. What a name.
Dude, what a baller.
What is that? Hover over the actual courier itself, like in the view. What the hell is the prismatic gem?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Nam. I have no idea what that is. I still like my shitty wizard that I've got.
Yeah. Oh, alright. Lane swap. What we got going on? Bob down bottom.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Okay, so you don't want to be the one that moves first, though, right? Because then the other team just has the advantage. But if you're going to make any movement happen, it has to happen now. Because if it happens a little later, then you're going to have an experience advantage in the mid lane, right? For whoever ends up being there. So I feel like this is a bit of an awkward position for particularly Potato to be in. I feel like we were saying before, Tino is very happy with this lane still. He should be able to get enough farm out of it. But Potato, he can still just look to shove this lane out as much as possible. But the bigger issue for mine is Bob. You know, he needs to now lane into a Bat Rider, which isn't the easiest, but certainly you're not as worried about if it was just like a 1v1 matchup, and they've been able to make this pull happen as well. So really looking to try and get that little bit of an experience advantage to be able to enable these kills early on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's going to happen like in the next couple of minutes, because I feel like more than likely TA is going to be shoved back to the jungle. And I wonder if they're going to swap the lane with Carlo and Shanks and put the Mirana down bottom, because Mirana, of course, a lot easier to play the dead lane and also get out with your own life as well. So, like, I'm already kind of looking towards the next couple of minutes when Bob is back in the jungle.
Not sure if this is like the new build. I haven't really seen it with the Mirana, but the first point in the Starstorm has been picked up again by Shanks. The last time we saw it, he just lost the lane horribly, fed away a bunch of kills, but they've been able to at least get up to that level 2, so whether he chooses to go for the leap or the arrow will certainly determine Trevinz's ability to be able to harass.
Yeah, and it's
now, though, he's trying to bait something out of him, right? Getting lots of right clicks in, just a lot of value spell usage as well, hitting it onto 2.
Yeah, it's not like the Marcy is really has the easiest time with being able to sit. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, like, sidekick plus 20 damage, I suppose. I mean, to suppose you're really not. Like, we're really grasping at straws here with the potential of Marty to do it. So, yeah, I wonder why. Maybe it's just your trading. I mean, 80 mana for 75 damage. We're going to see them go aggressive onto Palos. Again, this is going to be a pretty tricky lane for them to play in.
Yeah, I really feel
Bottom
like
lane, Bob,
Trivians
he's
and
in
Jigwrench
trouble.
get ahead.
They're going to be able to glimpse away, but the snowball from Danog will stop that shot. Beautifully done. But just the read from them. Danog with the wraparound puts himself in prime position to be able to lock Bob into a compromised position so they can find first blood.
Dyers are fortified.
See, something that I just realized is that obviously when they were going for the smoke at minute 0 just to get it out in the lane, obviously it's really important. I do feel like Mumung Daya was the one that was wanting to go mid then, but when he saw that it had been scouted out, he switched up tact. He ended up putting the observer ward on his own high ground just so that he could see some of the movement from the heroes, to be able to see how the lanes were set up, and that's what led them to get this, I would say, more favorable setup down bottom, which led to that first blood. Is just the power of information once again coming in clutch.
Wait.
Carlo.
Oh, hold that thought bottom lane. Carlo getting dived. Tino's actually going to look to TP down. A lot of damage coming through from the odds level 2, as they should be able to trade. Tino's got the press the attack to play with, so we'll be able to purge off the stick in napalm now. Among guys, he's still going to go for this though. Delaw's got another round of the abilities up shortly. They're happy to dive, happy to oblige his deep attempt as... Well, Tino just TP down. Oh no, this is going pretty bad.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, that second mover advantage. So even though you've got this TA who has a really good matchup against the puck, assuming that Potato actually ends up staying, I'm not sure. I guess he might be walking down bottom and Mumung Daya's just following the TA. Yeah, it seems like that's the case, even giving him a bottle sip on his way to that lane.
Oh,
So
well,
he just wants to keep up that level advantage.
Danog, just the bottle sip is nothing. Tino actually gave his bottle over to Bob.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting choice coming through there. I suppose realizing that he's the one that's going to be carrying this game, so you got to give him the best start imaginable. Bob realizing as soon as he sees that damn Batrider come to the lane, just get back into the jungle, start to build up stacks for yourself, and wait until the lane gets pushed in, and they've moved Tino back mid. So again, musical lanes happening once again.
I think this is the best way to set up. Just put Bob in the jungle as top lane. Travens will end up going down. Yeah, just put Bob in the jungle, let Tino play mid, and then have a support soak bottom. And I will think eventually, like, you can put the Disruptor down here, but I think Carlo's going to just feed his life. That's kind of where then Mirana can maybe play with Leap, but Shanks doesn't have it just yet. So I wonder... I mean, it's really nice for a Disruptor to play this dead lane because you really want levels. Like, this is a hero that you get so much out of high points in Glimpse and a Static Storm and an early timing, so maybe they're just okay with him dying a couple times.
Yeah, but I would much rather have the Mirana down here than the Disruptor, right? Like, at least with the Disruptor, you could still make kills happen together with a Marcy. It keeps that melee range dynamic, and you can use the arrow on things like the range creep. You can leap away from the Batrider when he looks to make these sorts of jumps. Like, you've just fed your life away for nothing.
Bottom lane as well. Carlo's going to go down too, so multiple kills across the map. They might be able to get a return kill though. Shanks attempting onto Jikroy. Wasn't able to land the stun before the damage came out from the Mirana. So in the end, kind of not the worst.
Yeah. I was thinking Shanks might be set to make a bit of an aggressive move happen up towards the towards the bottom side, or turn around perhaps onto the silencer, but it doesn't seem like he's too keen for that just yet. I really want to see him make that movement down bottom, because right now they're just losing a tier 1 tower to a Batrider with a siege creep. Really shouldn't be happening.
This will do nicely.
Oh, again, boots on Mumung Daya. Okay.
Oh, Delul might be in a little bit of danger, but looks like for now Carlo just wants to drag that away from the lane, get the range creeps taken care of, and then let the tower do the job against the siege. So it's been a little rough, but despite all of this, they've still got that net worth lead on Execration, even though Mumung Daya is an absolute beast with his, already up to level 6. Actually making that rotation mid.
Bob's able to break away from the coil. Use a little bit too early on from Potato.
Look at where that observer ward is to the left side of the Radiant Outpost as well. If Bob shows too much inside of the jungle, that is going to be a key priority for a lot of this movement happening. Potato making his movement happen with the bottle. But Bob realizing where they'd been playing around previously, not wanting to go too far away from the relative safety of the tower. I'm really surprised at how little Jikro is getting out of this top side as well. Easily sitting last on that net worth. Palace again putting through another really solid performance.
Bottom lane, Carlo. Another death to the tally. Potato's going to look to pop out of the invis. Gotta be cautious though how low they go. Tino's got the jewel to work with. Gonna turn onto the Tusk, and with Shanks teeping in. 3 points in the Star Storm is enough to provide the burst to get that first jewel victory of the game.
Even Trevin's just been a little bit annoying, TPing away in front of Bob as he's trying to get some stacks built up for himself. They're really putting a lot of attention onto this Templar Assassin, and it's been working so far, but you probably want to still be winning out on a lot of these other lanes if that's the case, as we get the first lasso of the game.
Bob dragged back into the fiery pits, and now they'll even get another kill as well. Potentially, actually, Carlo pops the coil, but they're not going to look to chase underneath the tier 1 towers. Happy, no doubt about it, with continuing to slow down Bob's game.
They'll know that they don't really have too much of that playmaking potential for this next little bit, though, so I wonder if Execration look to try and, again, establish themselves up on this top side with Palos. He's just hit onto his level 6, no lasso, no global, no coil. Really gives them a bit of an opening if they wanted to make a play on Execration. Might just use that time to farm, though, realizing this is probably the freest time that Bob's had the entire game so far, and not sure if he messed up that pull there on Carlo, but
Yeah, he did.
didn't end up building a stack. Yeah.
He,
when you bring a position 4 to positive.
yeah, he tried to... Oh, actually, Tino? Should be okay.
No coil, no death.
He tried to unblock the... Oh, Tino's going to look for the jewel. Shanks is nearby. Again, no, not enough damage this time. Look at the kill. Hopefully giving over to Bob as well. Some bonus gold going to be moved over to his brink. Meanwhile, top lane as well. Palos, he's happy with man fighting Jack Roy. They're going to be able to deal with the Phantasm illusions. Glimpse back to set up for the rebound, but Potato... Well, he'll be able to show up and protect Jack Roy, and now the Chaos Bolt has come off cooldown as well, so another kill for Spawn to find. He's even going to let the puck find it, and a courier for good measure.
Well, the Boots courier as well. Pretty damn important, and very valuable rotation coming out from Potato there. Really giving Jikroy for the first time this game a free lane to be able to farm and build up that net worth. Now he's maxed out the Chaos Strike, so much more capable of being able to just stick in this lane, even against someone like the Marcy.
This moss is kind of nice. He's going to keep them. No, Fairy's Trinket. Interesting. Okay. Well, they've got big Batrider issues. 4-0-1. Top of the net worth is Mamung Dai is well and truly on top as well. No one else is really close. So what are we expecting out of him? What does Spawn need Batrider do to enable this early game?
I think exactly what he's doing right now. You know, play around that siege creep. He was able to nearly take the bottom lane all on his own, just with that solo kill plus the siege creep. They're looking to play around with this level 6 on Delul, but again, you've got up against a Mirana. There's only so many kill attempts that you can make with the power of that leap to be able to get away, and they might be able to get a return kill.
Yep, they should indeed. Shanks, we saw him kind of baiting. They had Bob and Carlo into the tree line, hoping they were going to get a juicy kill into the Batrider, but they're happy with at least getting Delul. This should give a free wave over to Bob, importantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about valuing your life and being as hard to kill as possible, and I feel like that's why the Mirana has become so popular, not just as a position 4 but as a position 5 as well. Bot side, they're looking to get a dual kill here. They will be able to land it in onto Travins, although he's underneath the tower.
Tino, 3 points impressed the attack, but not going to be enough health back for him to survive through all the damage. Mamung Dai continuing to be a big issue.
Look at who is still just second in net worth. Bob, despite a horror start to this game, he's been able to recover. Already starting to put a little bit of pressure in onto that mid tower with the Blightstone.
Oh, alright, mid lane, Jikroy. Try and make the attempt onto Shanks. Jikroy's going to be cautious though. Glimpses off the timing with the arrow, but regardless, they'll get the kill. And meanwhile, across the map, Palos got a solo kill onto Mamang Daya, so that's a bunch of gold given over to the Marcy.
Went that early boots of travel like we were expecting. Going into the Aetherlands next, obviously Octarine core very important. I still really want to see him pick up that that BKB though, and yeah, looks like that's going to be the case before the Octarine. Wise choice.
Another kill. Man, I know this TA is very good at being able to catch up in farm, but with all the kills they're giving over, they're going to be really cautious. Maybe top lane, they can look to get back, but Tino's very survivable. Not even Hood completed, and we see how difficult it is for them to get this kill.
Oh wow, he's going for a Hood, huh? I guess against the Batrider makes a lot of sense. I'm just thinking as well, right, just the build that Bob's going for. Again, he's a TA expert, Grandmaster, level 30. And going into the Blink Dagger, it really does feel like the way that they've been coming back into this game is off the back of these successful little skirmishes, right? Rather than him just sitting back and picking up a lot of this farm by being a bit more passive. So just lean into what you're good at, I believe.
They're just going to run over the map shortly here for Execration. You got the traps to provide vision, Disruptor for the glimpses. Marcy's going to look to get involved as well. This is going to be really scary, and I haven't even mentioned the potential Moonlight Shadow that is always a possibility to make an engagement work. As Palos, yeah, they are definitely eyeing him up down bottom. Among Dies trying to get the stickies going. Moonlight Shadow's not going to protect him. Palos actually jumps into the middle. A Global Silence will come out to the members that are TPing and won't really be able to provide too much for the moment. But Carlo, once that expires, he can glimpse him back out of the tower, and simultaneously across the map, Potato goes down as well.
Another duel victory as well. Just being able to pick that one up there. Just that extra damage. Already 3 duel victories, I believe, unless my
Yep, 3, you're right.
No, 10 times 3 is 30.
Is it?
I don't know why I had to think about that.
Maybe he thought he had the talent. I don't know. Yeah, that's okay. Look, I know that even that excuse wouldn't make sense, but it's okay. I'm trying to help you out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry, we can't even make the excuse it's late as well.
No, this is by far the earliest day, which we're very happy about, by the way.
Hang on, no jinxing. Oh my lord, look at Bob's net worth now. Oh god, this is what happens when you leave him uncontested for a while, and he's changed up his mind. He's going Desolator, and he's incredibly close to the last Mithril Hammer. Bottom lane, there's a pretty big kill to Palos. They'll be forced to use the lasso as well, just to help guarantee the kill, as Tino will be too late to step in with a pressy attack. Is he gonna go for a kill instead? Tino.
I don't know if you can go into the middle of the creep wave though. Lasso not available.
See how tanky he's going to be with Hood. They do have some TPs, but it looks like they're just going to sack Tino down bottom.
Interesting choice to just run in like that. It was a little bit too deep, but again, you kind of have to play that way if you're making space for someone like Bob, right? He needs that distraction coming through, and there were 4 heroes committed there. The plus side is Mamang Daya's got the boots of travel, so obviously he's just able to immediately come to that mid lane without over-committing his body. He's just going to be able to TP back in another 20 seconds.
Alright, Traven's been able to get some juicy stacks going here for spawn, so Mamang Daya's going to get even closer to the BKB.
Do you think... I guess that's what they need, right? They need to win a couple of team fights where they've got that and you don't have the BKB quite yet on the TA, but I mean, Palos is very close to picking up his own BKB. You've nearly got a pipe on Tino, so a lot of that damage is going to be heavily reduced. Tino also went for the radius of the overwhelming odds as opposed to the dual bonus damage, so again, really relying on Marcy and TA to be those main right clickers.
I wonder if he's going to go Shard eventually this game, Tino. I don't think...
I love Shard.
Maybe like...
I love it.
When... Oh, hold that thought. Is Tino and Shanks going to be able to run into Dulul? Point blank arrow. Not a whole lot of damage, but it will not matter. 4th victory of the game. When are you hoping Tino goes this Shard then?
I kind of still want him to get a BKB, but it just allows you to have 100% uptime of the overwhelming odds if you've got it available. And he's already got the Soul Ring, he's got plenty of survivability. Once he picks up the pipe, that's for the rest of the team. I just want him to focus a little bit on himself because he is such a valuable member of their team fighting roster, right? Like, you need that press the attack against the Bat Rider. You need it against the puck.
Are they gonna Roche with that pickoff? They've got Deso, max out sidekick. I don't think anything's stopping them.
Yeah, they can pop the unleash as well if they feel like they need it.
All right, why not? Bye bye Roche. That is almost a blink completed as well. The Templar Assassin Bob is well and truly caught up, and now they've got big Templar Assassin issues.
They're rocking it up so much in Networth. It's kind of crazy. Even the regen picked up there on the bottom side of the river. Who are we going for on Tino? No one for now. Never mind that. He's actually going to catch out Triz.
Okay. Delays the Static Storm as well, so the Global Silence will have no effect. Batrider was potentially trying to find an angle to turn it around. At least they don't get Joe Victor, I suppose. That Global used to prevent it, but...
Yeah, I think you're a lot happier to drop the Static Storm relative to the Global, right? The Static Storm, much lower cooldown. You're able to still have a big influence in these team fights just with the glimpse. So, and pre-BKBs as well, the kinetic field, even just with the 1 point, provides a huge amount of value once you've got these heroes like the... Ooh, Mamang Daya just dodging that one out. Like the TA who has the blink,
Tino,
by the
is
way.
he going to go for this? Glimpse. Oh, it's going to be able to break the lasso.
There's the value.
Tino into the middle. It's got the hood of the pike coming up surely, but they just melt through him. Okay. Tag team plus Chick Roy, plenty of damage to get rid of the Legion Commander. And then Bob's going to look to show up as well. Just gets the blink before the coil. Wow, that was close.
Quick on the fingers there, but just not playing with the supports for the very beginning. Carlo, of course, he's got the vision to be able to potentially stop this aggression, but Delul should still be going down, and yep, he does with Palos.
They might be able to get more kills though. Both the members run out of the trap, so the slow is going to hold them down, and Palos, he's got nothing to fear. Even jumping forward to potentially catch up to the Potato, but Execration find 3, even though they lost a couple of members at that previous skirmish.
When they didn't have that Dream Coil available, that means Palos is free to use that BKB a little bit more aggressively, let's say. You know, not needing it for the escape potentially. He's, of course, got the rebound for that. But, yeah, just a couple of quick teamfight wins off the back of just realizing the strength of your cooldowns relative to the other teams. Again, no global silence for the next 15 seconds. Not that they can do anything with a Static Storm in the meantime, but you've really opened up the map in a huge way, and CK certainly isn't someone on the level of a Naga Siren, for example, where you're just able to freely push out the map quite easily. You need to commit your body for it, which makes it a lot more risky.
They will be setting themselves up for a defense top, though, here for Spawn. Of course, it's not going to be easy into the Aegis advantage. They've got a really deep ward to play with in lane if a fight does break out. And Execration, they're going to take a fight, but it won't be in this neighborhood. They'll smoke up, look to try and invade down the bottom triangle. They might run into Jikroy first, however. Under the traps of the vision, it can be on Tino to start. He'll try and play around with the Phantasm Duke, but the Static Storm and Jewel come out for the Global Silence. The damage is still lacking, however. Jikroy will still go down. Now they're going to look for the turnaround. Lasso holding Bob into place, but he's got the Aegis to play with. They're only tickling the TA, making her more angry. Spawn, what can you do with the next round of the abilities? Potato's going to look to jump in. If they can continue to play the distance, the Zik and A-Bomb will be a big issue for Bob and the team fight as they snowball onto the creeps. They'll get the kill, but Palos is showing up now. A jumper to the middle, controlling to Lul. They'll look for the secondary support off to the left side as Execration lose 2 members, including the Aegis, but they take so much more.
Take an incredible amount. Again, just... They don't have control over the top jungle, but it really feels like they do. They don't feel safe enough on Spawn to be able to leave the base and take any convincing team fights. Obviously, needing big ultimates to be able to try and even break even in that team fight, and they had a rough time just killing Tino. His farm has stalled a little bit, though, on Tino, hasn't it? I mean, after picking up that pipe, he's been working towards that Blink Dagger for quite some time. Ooh. Not going to be able to catch out the retreat there.
Yeah,
Not sure how I feel about the Blink Dagger though on Tino, as opposed to I guess if you're able to get it onto the puck, it feels pretty valuable.
Top lane, Potato. Jumping in the tree line, arrow bit too late. I think it was off the mark anyway. Yeah, I actually don't even think they need the blink as well. I think you could dire a lineup that may. Okay, I think one argument for the blink is just I don't think it's more initiating. I think it's probably more counter initiation heavy because I think dire definitely have a lineup that want to be up in your face, and you're okay with letting them start. So potentially the blink is just like a saving factor, just help with his positioning.
The other option is also that he wants to use it to get in and actually duel the CK, because if you don't have CK popping the Phantasm, they actually have pretty terrible damage on spawn, especially if you've got that pipe available, right? You just pipe, blink, duel, and then what are they going to do? They're not going to kill you. You've got a Marcy as well to be able to buff you up, and then it's just as simple as getting counter initiation with your other heroes.
Mid lane bottom? Gotta be cautious. Also, like, all the other abilities for CK is incredibly important. They don't have a lot of control. Minus Armor's really nice to hold them down, so yeah, I like that clause. You know, potentially see it come into fruition here. It just depends on who they get the jump on, and well, the force out the BKB from among Dire, and now it's gonna give a signal for Spawn to get back inside their base, although Delul still outside. They won't be able to find the Tusk though next to the trees.
They're doing their best to just shove out the lanes as much as possible, and that's exactly where it's being pinged around on the map. Just saying, look, we don't want to fight right now. We're not ready. Still got a little bit of that net worth disadvantage as Potato looking to try and get someone to TP back and defend this bottom tower.
Oh my god, what? He's got a scepter?
Yep.
Philosopher's Stone's a great item. Jikroy might be in trouble. Early use of the Global Sans, covering the TPR. Does he want to cancel it to take the fight? Not going to be the case. They even get the BKB pot from Palos. Gotta be cautious though. This Static Storm might be able to catch Potato off guard. Runs out of the ring though. I mean, that is a big swing and a miss for Execration. A lot of things on cooldown now. It's not going to be easy. Cool, it's going to get broken with the shards. Not great position for them to be able to capitalize, but Mamangdai gets the jump in. Whereas Tino is out of place, can't get the press the attack, and Bob will go down. And now they're looking for more. Potato with the leap over the tree line. Carlo's probably just going to sacrifice his life and let the rest of the boys get out.
Really felt pretty unnecessary, right? Like they could have just at least forced in the glyph on the top side of the map. Get a team fight. Their vision game is pretty good. They've still got this high ground ward courtesy of Shanks, just scouting out a lot of the movement coming through from spawn, but well, they just went a little bit too deep, trying to get super greedy. I suppose that's what's enabled Bob to come back and be the top net worth of this game, but probably a little bit too deep, farming right next to where the tier 2 tower used to be.
Pipe's on cooldown. They're actually going to get another kill. Dino, oh, Pipe's coming up shortly. Let's see if he's going to be able to survive long enough. And in fact, Spawn are hesitant.
I mean, even just the passive on Pipe of Insight is kind of crazy. 30% magic resistance is under-recognized, I'll call it. A lot of people think about the active, but it's all about the passive for mine.
$2,000 net worth. The game was starting to get a little bit out of hand once Execration found that first Roche in the fight afterwards, but Spawn honestly have done a very good job to be able to stabilize this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really feeling like this game will be based on... Sorry, the outcome of this game will be based on the victor of the next Roche fight. Because if you get it, then suddenly CK feels like he can farm a little bit more aggressively with his illusions. He's got a little bit more damage output that he's able to provide. You can commit a bit further on the Batrider, realizing that, you know, with the by the time that the Roshans respawn, you'll have Octarine Core and be able to play around that effectively. I do like how Spawn, obviously they've been using things like the Snowball, like the Phase Shift, to be able to dodge out that glimpse, getting all the way back to wherever they TP from. But everyone that doesn't have those sorts of abilities, they're making sure to be very diligent about TPing outside of that vision, making sure that there's no potential to get that outnumber.
This fight's all on Carlo. They're going to be so cautious. If he just lays down the Static Storm to catch him off guard, but the arrow instead,
that's a good catch.
That'll do the job. That'll do it perfectly. quickly. A global silence, no avail, as they'll still drag back one, but this is not the fight you want to take now on spawn. You need to cut your losses. They'll lose 2 to start, and now Shanks once again, the arrow on point, piercing Tusk.
He's Legolas, man. What can we say? He's just able to land those arrows constantly, be able to find that follow-up. It's usually on the back of something that's a little bit more easy to connect onto, but, you know, just that initial stun, unfortunately, landing onto the puck, the power of information once again being Spawn's undoing, and, well, now they're definitely going to start putting pressure onto this tier 2 tower. You would assume, well, I don't actually want to assume that they're going to use the glyph for this, considering they've already lost the tier 2 mid, but giving this one up basically resigns them to the fact that they won't be able to take this next Roche fight very effectively. No global silence, no lasso, Phantasm still a little bit away as well, so this should be very, very easy for Execration to pick up.
What's up next?
I guess the one silver... Oh, never mind. Not a silver lining. They lost the gem as well in that fight. So that's huge now that Radiant have this. Okay, yeah. Now I mean, the traps are going to continue to be a little bit of a beacon across the map. Just further
as well. Just gives you that instant information, right? Lets you know when you've got the safety to be able to take that one out. I mean, their vision game isn't amazing, like in terms of observer wards, right? You've got one next to the tier 1 mid, obviously realizing the strength of that. Something in the top lane, a little bit more unorthodox. They see only where Batrider is on the map right now, so it's not like they've got a complete understanding of how to be able to take this this game out. And look at this, even going for the smoke before the Roshan goes down, realizing that Bob has the capability to get it on his own.
See if they can catch out. Potentially Jikro in the jungle. Maybe they'll go for Potato instead. One of the higher guns going to give them some information. They see the illusions and they'll get the jump in. Global silence, potentially enabling Jikro to get the kill, but he's stuck around for a little bit too long. They're going to wait for this to expire and then take the team fight as inside the river. Palos onto Jikro with Bob nearby. They haven't been able to bring him down just yet. Another leap onto the CK, but the E-Blade still stalling this out. Jikro is going to look to TP. The silence prevents the duel, but it's just in the nick of time. Carlo will find the glimpse. That was so close, though.
Man, he armlet toggled twice on like 5 HP. That was kind of nuts, but...
Ooh, silence onto the puck. They're going to be able to get the Yule set up potentially. Is there any follow-up? Tino looking for the jewel. Can he get it at the last second? He can. Just wants the damage, and well, Shanks for the Star Storm. Easily done. Now they got a DD for the Siege as well.
You don't have a puck. I mean, buyback doesn't really feel like it's worth it at this stage. Needs the Dream Coil to be able to hold them in place to allow someone like the CK and the Batrider to really come into effect. And I mean, this is a game where BKBs are at an absolute premium. We were talking about it in that second game of the previous series, how vital it was, but in this one, just as key. If you've got those available on Execration, Batrider feels like it does nothing, Puck feels like it does nothing. You're not worried about the global silence, and then effectively it's a 2v5.
Jikro, Tino does step a bit too far. Pel's gonna have to try and protect him. They even get the kickback as well. So Tino will go down, and maybe Palos is gonna be next. Lotus Orb trying to buy him a little bit of time. Static Storm will cover the area, but Jikro can charge through with the BKB, but he's still gonna be cautious. There are Palos, but the turnaround. Oh, live still. Palos survives, and Bob gets a kill off for the side as well. Potato gonna try and deal with the first life. Coil lay it down, but they don't even have the damage. And Palos jump onto 3, arrow to fly. They buy back on Among Die. This is a heavy investment. They need to get more, and I don't think they're gonna be able to.
No, it's a long way down from where it was at the very start of the game, right? Palos, he's still second on net worth, but it really feels like his influence, sorry, Mamang Daya, this is, has lessened massively. And that's so harsh to say about someone that's 10, 3, and 5, but he's not finding those kills. But more importantly, it feels like he can't solo kill people anymore because of these items that have been picked up, right? You've got BKBs on the TA and the Master. You've got a Lotus Orb on your Mirana. You've got the press the attack on the Legion Commander. And, well, now Carlo's even got a Blink Dagger, so he can stay well back using not only that, but the Ogre Seal Totem just to be in the perfect position at all times. So really feels like they put a lot of pressure onto stopping Bob.
Oh, look.
But ever since then, Execration have just been anti-Mamang Daya.
He might be in that perfect position, Carlo. Potentially using the team to pop the smoke and ready to jump. They're going to actually continue to move up to the northern side. Smoke from spawn won't probably be able to get them anything, so the swing and a miss in regards to that attempt.
Big pickups coming from the rest. I mean, Miranda's even got a Yule Scepter, so that's 2 ways now to be able to break out of that global silence. Ways to be able to avoid the Firefly, a lot of that damage coming through. And they're just trying to cut the map as much as they can on spawn.
I think they
get into their next items.
Sorry, I think they smoked under that observer ward. Gonna back off. Someone's gonna reveal anyway.
Oh no! Oh, Mamang Daya, you can't come top, and oh, little luckily, the overwhelming odds from Tino ends up revealing the position from Execration. Otherwise, that could have very easily been a dieback coming through from the Batrider.
Mamang Daya might try and
to get the quick pick off onto Palos.
Oh, he lost vision, I think. Sentry just out of range.
Even Delul just trying to get a little bit of pressure in onto the bottom side, try and force Execration back a little bit. It's still a 12k net worth lead right now. I'm trying to think of the avenues for Spawn to potentially come back into this game, because it feels rough, right? Again, the lack of effectiveness around BKB usage is my big issue for Spawn, so I guess they've got to just try and kite it as much as possible, maybe even just using the Global Silence as a way to guarantee BKB usage, and then try and run away as best you can. But I think Bat, Tusk, and Puck will be able to get away, but not CK, and he's still such a big portion of your damage.
Yeah. And it seems like you have so many members that you need to kill off on Execration. Like, we're still yet to really see the value out of this Scepter Static Storm, but you need to even kill the Marcy as well. The turnaround potential, giving Bob the sidekick, or Palace even jumping in, just man fighting the CK. It just seems like they need to kill too many members to start the fight, and the damage is the thing in question.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they're going on the right target. Tino is the correct target to go onto, because if they don't, he's just going to get a pipe off. He's going to get press the attack. Look, he's even holding onto a psychic headband just so that he can always be in a position to save his Marcy and his Templar Assassin. But the thing is, all of the damage that they've got is essentially physical that's going to be able to kill him. The magic coming through from the Puck and the Batrider, it's going to be reduced by 55% off the back of that pipe. So it's another game of really good itemization coming through from Tino.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Smoke for Execration's not going to work out. Will not be able to run into anyone across the map, so you see Spawn doing a pretty good job to keep the side lane shoved out. Not going to get anything out of the past couple of minutes. Of course, the farm isn't really paying off too heavily for them, though.
And that's why, like, look at Jikroy on the top left side. He's hiding in that little hidey hole where you can see out, but the enemy team can't see in. Just wanting to be in a position as much as he can to be able to
Bottom lane.
have a good understanding of where he can play.
Setting up on Mamang Daya. Does he stick around for another sticky? Be cautious. Starting to wrap on all angles. He goes down to the south instead. They might have run into Delul. Oh, did they not see him? Jump to the north. Carlo might have got a glimpse though. Phil, look for the TPR. Does he run into him in the tree line? They'll make it. Dyer doing a really good job to stall this game.
Yep. They gotta get Jikroy as huge as possible, and I mean, I could see why he's going for the Blink Dagger and the well, he's got the Aghanim Shard queued up, but doesn't really need to. He's already got one. But I guess he hasn't really been
instantly used to the pressed attack. Global Silence gonna try and help out as well, but Palace again! My God, Palace, stop it! 3-man stun in a row once again. Palace, what are you doing to them? Now they're even up to the high ground. Jikroy won't even be able to use any spells.
Give him the MVP right now.
Filthy stuff. This position 1 Marcy.
I mean, we haven't seen too many other people be able to make it work, right? Just Ana during the Southeast Asia TI regional qualifiers is the only other one I can recall.
Yeah, I haven't seen any others as well. Oh, what? Oh, alright, he's gone.
Dire's top tower has
They have a Hex on. Oh my god.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Hex on Mr. Shanks.
Dire's top
Second full set of barracks. There's a tier 2 standing down bottom. They do not care. They're going to keep going for more. That's a dieback on Among Dire as well. That's why he's down for so long.
Plenty of siege creeps as well to be able to make this happen.
Dire's middle tower is under
All that deso damage, sidekick as well. It's just way too much, and yeah, the call's finally said of, well, let's actually focus the same tower for now.
Look at Shanks wrapping around. Trying to find the opening to reveal the Hex. Tino even just acting as a bodyguard as well to put himself in front of the heroes that are dealing the objective damage and spawn. You
They've
need a
delayed, but
response.
you gotta move.
Gotta make a play. Gotta make a defense. Throne exposed. I don't think you can stall for 10 more seconds until Mamung dies
got the
alive. Down to
Hex.
the south, they got the Hexton. Oh, it was on your screen and now just wiped away. Palos will play with the BKB, guiding the use of the Chaos Bolt, and this should be all she wrote. Throne's gonna blow up. He respawns and runs into the arrow Mamung Die. Tricky game as Execration would take game 1.
But it was good execution from Execration coming through here, right? They were able to play those musical lanes, fix things up a little bit, realizing that when it wasn't going so well laning hero to hero, just try and use the TA strengths, the capability of taking the jungle. And Bob, again, showing why he is a Templar assassin to be feared. Maxed out and just able to find farm where a lot of others wouldn't, even with all of that attention specifically being put in onto him.
It was very impressive with how much he was able to get out of the map. We saw a lot of the rotations as well, just kind of the musical lanes, trying to do whatever they can. You know, they even gave him the bottle as well, which is something we brought up. Tina's like, all right, I'll sacrifice my lane, my lane and my game a little bit just to try and help Mr. Bob out. And that's really something they've done all throughout the group stages so far, though. Like, it's really been Bob on predominantly a lot of the win condition heroes and Palace on, you know, the heroes like the Marcy. So I'm very intrigued on what Spawn want to remove in the game 2 first phase of bans. I wonder if they're going to consider about the Marcy, because I mean, do you consider that? Do you get rid of Shanks' Mirana? Because that was also a big issue as well. Like, there's a lot for Spawn to think about.
Yeah, I think you can block pick one of those. I mean, again, they're just so flexible. I feel like if you don't feel the same level of confidence with the Marcy, that should be your brand, but anyone can play Mirana. It's not that complicated. Position 1 Marcy, a little bit different, right? You got to understand the timings to a little bit more of a strength. It's not just a pick and win lane hero anymore. So I think, yeah, get rid of the Marcy, pick up the Mirana for yourselves, and it's going to depend, again, on who has first pick as well to be able to make that decision. I gotta give one little negative to Bob, though. He didn't give back that bottle to Tino by the end of the game. He helped him out at the laning stage, but he just got a little bit selfish.
Come on. But I guess when you go 8-3 and 17, it's okay sometimes. It's okay sometimes for Bob to play that selfish game. But in the end, it will be Execration taking game 1. They've got a game advantage now in this elimination series. Will they be able to knock Spawn out in 2-0 fashion, or can Spawn send this one to a game 3? We'll find out after the break.